What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You're about to tune into how I negotiate numbers with sellers, how I get their asking price down like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Literally, this one technique has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars just by negotiating the asking price of the seller, but you have to do it in a certain way. So I need you to watch this video and take notes. Before we do that, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's figure out how we get you some big, hefty price reductions.
Here's one thing that I love doing with all my sellers is this up here. This equation up here. I talk about it all the time. If somebody says, yeah, if I ask them, hey, so what are your plans with the realtor? How much are you thinking about listing it for? And they say 315. I immediately back out all the numbers. Okay, great. So after your did you follow me when I did that equation?
Yeah.
So let's just go over it really quick. So let's just say list is at 315 and it sells at 315. There's a couple things that's going to happen. You're going to have realtor fees.
Yep.
Okay. You're going to have closing costs. You're going to have concessions. And maybe even you have rehab. So these are the main four things that I ask the seller when they tell me the asking price on the market is going to be 315.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, great. So, after your realtor fees, closing costs, concessions, like what were you hoping to walk away with after all is said and done? And they're super confused. Like, I don't know. I was looking just for just 315 for the property. Okay, great. Well, we sell a lot of our fix and flips, and typically nationwide, what it really takes to sell a house is about 9%. It typically costs us about 9% to sell a house on the market. And here's why. Our realtor, and I juice these numbers up a little bit. Our realtor is going to cost us 6%, 3% to the buy side, 3% to the sell side. Okay. Our closing costs are typically somewhere around 2%. And then our concessions are somewhere around 1%. What concessions are, and then I explain to them the market that we're in. I'm like, hey, so concessions are when you have buyers walk the property and start submitting offers, they're going to come in, and especially right now, because we're in a buyer's market and the buyers kind of have all the pull, they're going to come in and say, yeah, I'd want to buy this deal, but I'm going to need an extra $5,000 at close because I need to repair some of the windows that are in the house. Right. So these are concessions. These are things that the seller asked for at close, right? They ask for credits back, or they ask for you to go do some rehab in the property or something like that. So we typically say that that's about 1%. Okay. And I take these numbers right here and I immediately give them the number, right? So if we do the math on 315, we already did it up there, but we'll do it again. After this 9%, we're really at 286. Okay. But then I also ask them, in the meantime, before I go down this road and tell them all about this, I ask them, okay, cool. So how much did your realtor say the property needed of work in order to sell it on the market at 315? I'm just assuming, right? The dummy curve that we talked about earlier. I'm just assuming that the realtor said, you got to paint the house, you got to do the deck, you got to do this, that, and the other, because most realtors will. Most realtors will go on a listing appointment and they'll say, yeah, I could probably list your house for 315, but you're going to need to redo the kitchens. You're going to need to redo the bath. And then I'll be able to get you that number. And they're like, oh, yeah, Mike. I mean, the realtor said that I'd have to redo the deck. I'd have to take care of all the chip paint, and I'd have to do this, that, and the other. Okay, how much do you think all that will cost? That's going to cost, Mike. I think it probably, I'm not a contractor, I don't really know, but if I could put a number on it, I'm going to say probably like 25K. Okay, cool. So in order for you to list this on the market, you got to come up with 25K to pay the contractors, right? By the way, do you have any contractors? Because I got some great ones that I work with. No. Okay, I can refer you to contractors. All right, great. So let's look at this really quick, and then I bring them down the rabbit hole of all the percentages and stuff, and I get them to understand that after the realtor fees and stuff, they're walking away with 286. And then after that, I'm like, okay, so we're at 286 just to sell the property, minus the 25 that we had to put into it, right? That brings us down to 261. So now we're at 261. And then Zoe, you said that you had a mortgage on the property too, right? What did you say it was? Oh, $100,000. Okay, great. Crap, my iPad just died. We're at $100,000, right? Okay, cool. We're at 261. Once I figure that out, I'm like, okay, so Zoe, really, at the end of the day, after all is said and done, after you put some love into the property, you pay the realtor, all the closing costs, and everything that we just talked about, really, you're looking to walk away with around $161,000. And the seller's like, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, now they have an idea of like what the actual situation is, and they're not fixated on the price of 315, because the price of 315 does not really matter. That's just a fictitious price. I was breaking down earlier this morning that HUD statement of the actual cash that we were getting from the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's a little bit different.